Hi guys, we're back again to do another Warhammer 40k battle report. This time it's Tau versus Necron, and we're doing something a bit special. We're going to do a battle using two armies, and then redo the same battle using the same armies, but obviously using the new rules when they come out. So the setting and all the stuff was randomly generated, and we've come up with a storyline for this. Basically, Valkyrie has crashed into the back of a couple of buildings, and the Marines struggling to get away were carrying away the power core, and so the Tau want the power core in that engine, and this one over here, and obviously the Necrons are wanting their Necron stuff on top of this building, and there's a couple of Tyranid things that they want to take out in there, because you know, the Necron hate the Tyranids, and there's a Tau array on the top of that building, which is another objective. So 5 objectives in all. This is Seize Ground, and we'll see what happens in the Necron's first turn. Okay, that's the end of Necron turn 1. Very quick turn. All that's happened is this Cryptek and his unit that were hiding behind that building. Veil of Darkness over here, just missing where they were supposed to go, so they just moved over there. And then they rapid fired on the Honor Guard with the Ethereal and took out 8 warriors straight away. So not too great for the Tau so far, but we'll see what happens in their first turn. Okay, so this is what's happened in the Tau's first turn. They ran over into the rubble to get cover saves because they weren't getting armor saves from the Gauss blasters, and then they returned fire, killing 2 of the Immortals. But we'll see what comes on and what happens in Necron turn 2. Okay, so we're into Necron turn 2, we just finished it actually. Very simple. Basically the Wraiths came on, went through the forest and ran up. The Doomscythe came on, was going to shoot at some Tau, but they died, so it didn't have to, otherwise it would have moved a bit further or taken some cover. And the Trarch Stalker came on, so the only stuff left for Necron are Flayed Ones and Praetorians, who are both deep striking. So basically all that happened was these guys, again, rapid fired at the Tau, who were hiding in the terrain. They didn't make enough of their cover saves, so they all died. That includes the Ethereal, but luckily there are no other Tau units on the board, so it doesn't matter that they've all died. Because they're not going to be taking morale checks. And I guess we'll see what happens in Tau turn 2. Tau are making a comeback. Okay, so this is Tau turn 2. We've had both Hammerheads come on, the XV8 Crisis Battlesuits come on, Death Ring suits, all the Recruit came up here, we've had the Vespids, and the Broadsides on. So, we'll begin over here. The Broadsides came on straight away, just shot right at the Trarch Stalker, and that got immobilized straight away. Hence the immobilized thing on it. Vespids just hid behind that wall. The Recruit went into the forest because they get extra protection. Obviously, they ran up. Then the suits were actually outside of the Hammerheads on either side, and they both fired at this squad over here, and so did the burst cannons from this one, and this also fired a submission shot which missed. So they went down by a load. I think they went down by like 4, or maybe 4 I think. So they'll probably teleport out next turn or something. This Hammerhead fired straight away at the Doomscythe and stunned it. Penetrated first time, but stunned result nonetheless. Rolled a 1 on damage shot, and did nothing to the Wraith. Okay, so we're back at the end of Necron turn 3, and let's see what happened. The Praetorians, they deep struck straight in and fired off a bunch of shots at the Broadsides, took out 1 shield drone, did nothing else. Then the Flayed Ones also came in, at the same time obviously, but they couldn't shoot, so they're just stranding there for a short while. The Veil of Darkness Cryptek, the Harbinger of Despair, teleported his entire squad here, where they fired at the Vespids, took out all but 1, and then the Cryptek tried to use his Abyssal Staff, or whatever it's called, and but no, he failed because that strain leader has a leadership of 9, so didn't quite make it through. And then he made his leadership test. Let's see, the Trarch Stalker, too far away to shoot anything. The race moved up, then they ran 1 inch. Not going to get into combat. Those guys were all way too far back to shoot at anything. And over here, the Doom size was still stunned. So, you know, best tank hunter ever, pretty much. Can't hunt these tanks. And it's probably going to get blown up next time. Alright, that was Tau turn 3. And we'll take a look at what happened. Both the Devilfish with 6 warriors inside came on. This one moved up over here to in front of the Doom size, which then got blown apart by that yellow hammerhead over there. So that got completely exploded and we just got that wreckage marker thingy. So they're going to move up and try and take that objective over there. This Devilfish over here just came on from over there, and it's just positioned itself ready to drop off the warriors who are going to climb up and take that objective on the top. The crisis suits jumped out, fired at the wraiths, and so did this hammerhead, and took out 2 of the wraiths. But they're okay with leadership and everything. Over here, the broadsides turned around because they've got advanced stabilisation systems, fired on the Praetorians, killing 2 of them. Not as many as I'd hoped, but you know. Here we are, the Vespid Strain Leader moved over here and fired on the flayed ones, killed 1, and the Kroot killed 3 more, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and then 1 got back up. And there's nothing else. So that was what the Tau did. Okay, we've hit the end of Necron turn 4 and they're finally getting revenge for their destroyed Doom size. So over here, the Flay ones that had Deep Struck and the Wraiths that were already there, they both assaulted the Kroot, took out every single normal Kroot. There's just a Shaper with 3 hounds left. Yep, 3. The Vespid's still fine though. And over here, the Praetorians killed 1 of the drones by shooting. So that was the last one. Then they killed 1 of the broadsides in close combat and took the other one down to 1 wound, who then fled, and they got a sweeping advance and took him out. The Harbinger of Despair decided to, you know, run away. So he teleported over there and they're going to move up and take that objective. Next to the immobilized Stalker, because that way if anything comes at them, they'll just use the Stalker to take it out. But apart from that, nothing happened because there's nothing else apart from these Immortals who are hiding up on the top of the building. The end of Tau turn 4 and the Necrons are not giving up yet. So let's see what happened over here. In the combat, everything but the Shaper died. So Shaper's on 1 wound. Still managed to hang in there, though, which is a pain because it means that these guys can't shoot at him. Over here, all 3 Praetorians got taken out. 1 got killed by the Vespid, which is quite funny. 1 from these crisis suits, and the last one got blown away by a railgun shot to the face. Over here, the Fire Warriors got out, climbed up the side of the building, so we're saying they've got that objective on the top. And Devilfish came around, fired at the guys up there, did nothing. Over here, the guys just got out, so they're on the building there. They're going to get to the top to take the objective in the next turn. And this Hammerhead fired a railgun shot that took out the Immortal at the back there, but then he stood right back up again. So okay, that's the end of Necron turn 5. All that's basically happened is the the Immortals in this big building over here, they fired down into this building and took out every single town fire warrior. So they're not holding that objective. Then over here, excuse me, the combat finished. The poor Shaper put up a good fight, but eventually he got mown down. So they've just consolidated, getting ready to take on these guys. Vespid's still there. And over here, they just, the Immortals, led by their Harbinger, just moved up into the terrain. They're not quite close enough to the objective yet because they rolled a bit poorly on their move through difficult terrain. But hopefully they should get there by the end of the game. Turn 5 for the Tau is up, and it's getting extremely close. Okay, so all of the ships basically converged over to this side. That Devilfish moved flat out and dropped off a couple of drones that are actually right underneath the objective, so we're saying that's contested. 2 Hammerheads moved up. They're both fast, so they moved 12 and then fired their railguns. One hit but didn't wound, somehow. One completely blasted apart one of the Immortals. That Devilfish moved up. It's getting ready to contest, although it's not quite there. The battle salutes were able to see and then they moved, so they're not now because they're trying to get away from the race. They were able to see those guys over there and they all fired. So that's why there is only one Immortal left over there. There he is. He's not quite holding the objective, but if the next turn goes, he might be able to. And here's this Vespid standing on top of the building, you know, just trying to get somewhere. Oh, and also the Fire Warriors moved up to the top of that building. So the Tau have that objective over there. No one's got this one, with the power core of the Dead Space Marines. That Tyrannid one in there is contested. Can't really see it. Let's see, the one on the top of the building. No one's got it. And that one, they haven't quite reached it. So we'll see what happens in turn 6. Are we getting turn 6? Yes we are. Okay, so we'll see what happens. The end of Necron turn 6, and they're getting pretty desperate. They really want this objective. So basically what's happened is these guys on top of the building have shot at those guys, killed 3 of them, but they're still there, they're fine. The Trarch Stalker, though immobilized, still had its heat ray working, and it's on a movable turret, so I turned it around. And it shot at the drones that were contesting that objective, so they're gone. But the Devilfish is still there, although it's not quite in contesting range. And over here, more desperation, the flayed ones assaulted the Hammerhead because they're afraid that it's going to take out that guy over there. And they blew off its burst cannons because the railgun's not going to be great unless it gets a bang on shot. Over here, the Wraiths have assaulted some of the crisis suits and they took out one, and the other one's on 1 wound in that unit. This unit are fine still. But that was all that they could do. Actually the Cryptic used his Nightmare Shroud on this Vespid, who was fine. So we'll see what happens in the possibly final turn for the Tau, turn 6. Okay, that's the end of Tau turn 6 and the end of the game. Let's take a quick look at what happened. The crisis is here, fired on the flayed ones, killed 1, didn't get back up. 2 Hammerheads moved up. This one fired Hammerhead shot which missed the Trarch Stalker. This one fired a railgun which stunned it. The Devilfish here moved up a bit, so it's contesting, and then fired its burst cannons, killing the Cryptic. Still holding that objective. And the crazy thing which happened was that the Devilfish that was over here moved up and into the building. So it is contesting the objective, but it's your decision as to whether that stands or not. Because it's within contesting range. If we left it there, it probably would have been anyway. But, you know, is it alright to have it in the building? Because the base fits and the whole skimmer fits in there. It's alright there. It hasn't been blown up or anything. So just leave a comment down below saying your views on whether it's alright to keep it there. And at the end of the game, Tau have one objective. Necrons contesting this, maybe, or they have it. That was definitely contested. So it all depends on whether you think this is contested or not, because otherwise the Tau win. So stay tuned for more battle reports, and we'll be redoing this with the new rulebook very soon.